Welcome to Lee Summit Reflections. I'm Kathy Smith, Chairperson of the Lee Summit Historic Preservation Commission and President of the Lee Summit Historical Society. Today we're going to talk about the Missouri Pacific Depot that was built in 1905 that's located right down here in the heart of Lee Summit. What did it mean for Lee Summit to get a train station? It was everything. William B. Howard, who is our founder, he founded Lee Summit in 1865, had a vision. He first came to this area about 1840, and he knew that the trains were already back east, and he knew that eventually they would come out west. He wanted to get in on that, plus he was trying to develop a community. So he knew for the survival of the community that he would have to have a railroad in his town. So he very smartly laid out every other town lot and dedicated that right-of-way for the railroad development. So that's how it grew. Folks came here, they rode the trains, they shipped things out. We were the highest shipping point between St. Louis and Kansas City. This was really central to the survival of Lee Summit, and it was part of William B. Howard's vision, and of course without that vision none of us would be here today. Actually, that was the second railroad station in Lee Summit. The first one was a boxcar. This one was built probably around the mid-1800s, and you can see the double track out in front here. You can see the section gang, which is what the crews were that repaired the tracks. They had old-fashioned hand cars that they pumped up and down, and they would go up and down the railroad tracks. And then all these gentlemen out here are probably waiting to board the oncoming passenger train. This is kind of the center point of the community because they have the telegraph office here and all of that. Well, unfortunately, as you can tell, this is a wooden building. It would dry out, and if there was a spark somewhere, the whole thing would go away. For 2 years, Lee Summit didn't have a depot. They once again used the boxcar system, which got to be a very aggravating situation for people wanting to ride the train and so forth. And so there was a big argument over whether they would go back with a wooden depot or should we build a brick depot. There was even a political campaign fought over it. So back and forth between brick and wood. What will it be? In about 1905, the contract was let to Mr. Jake Seckler, who is a very prominent builder in our area, to build this depot to the tune of about $8,000. It's quite a beautiful building, and we're very fortunate that we have this building. Look at all the trees that are here all over the downtown. Some people think that we never had trees downtown, but we really did. The reason why this station is important to showcasing Lee Summit, really, it's in the heart of the city. It almost went away back in the 60s when they had urban renewal. This was given to us in 1991. In the very beginning, we didn't have very many artifacts, but as information got out about us and so forth, we were able to really have a nice selection of railroad artifacts. Probably one of the zaniest artifacts that we have are these cinder goggles, and cinder goggles were worn by people who rode the passenger trains because remember, back in those days they had steam engines and so they were coal-fired, and there'd be lots of cinders along the railroad track. So if you were in a passenger train and it was hot and you had the window open, you needed something to protect your eyes. This is called a bug, and this goes from side to side and it transmits Morse code. This recently, a wonderful gentleman by the name of John Speak donated original documents from the Rock Island Railroad going clear back to 1898. They gave us these two beautiful lanterns, and then these really cool 60s highball glasses, and then once again timetables from the Rock Island Railroad. I think we're different from a lot of museums. We want to give our visitors a good Lee Summit experience in telling our local history stories. Thanks for joining us, and be on the lookout for more stories about the rich history of Lee Summit. For Lee Summit Reflections, I'm Kathy Smith.